Hi, we'll be starting with the concept of returns, which is one of the most important in your entire GST laws. It is covered from your section number 37 to section number 48. What is GST returns? Returns is a statement filed by the assessee to the government disclosing his transactions that has taken place in a particular year. It will contain the detail of his sales, of his purchases, the tax he has paid, etc. Now, the details of the sales of a dealer will be contained in your GSTR1. So whenever a dealer has made a sales or a outward supply, he will go and fill up his GSTR1. GSTR1 contains details of your sales. So it will come up that I have made a sales to you. Moment I mention your name and your details in your GST account, in the purchases GST account, something will be pop up or something will be popped up or something will be auto populated. That would come that so and so person is saying that he has made a sales to you. Did you purchase from him? Is the details of the amounts and the values and the GST paid correct? So that would pop up in your GSTR 2A. So the supplier files GSTR 1, purchaser के account में hit होगा in GSTR 2A. GSTR 2A will contain the detail of your purchases, how much purchases you has made. So you need to simply accept or reject the form. So you can ideally you would accept it that yes, this dealer is saying that I have purchased from him and I have paid to him GST. It is correct. If you reject it, it will go back to him and you can tell him to modify or correct his statement. Now once it is there, then the purchase transaction will contain how much value you have paid to the supplier and also how much GST you have paid. Whatever GST you have paid to the supplier, if you're going to further sell it, you would like to take a set off of the tax paid on your purchases. You would like to take a credit of the tax paid earlier. So this, how much ITC is available, which is, removed or which is found out from your GSTR 2A, GSTR 2B will be auto populated or auto drafted again, which will contain how much credit is available to you. What is credit? आपने purchases पे कितना tax भरा? It will contain only details of your taxes paid. So GSTR 2B contains the details of the ITC available to the purchaser or the dealer. So it's a system that works in a flow. First, GSTR 1 will be filed. Then GSTR 2A will be auto populated in the purchaser's account. He needs to accept it. Moment he accepts it, it will be mentioned how much credit is available. Simple. Like this, every dealer will have details of his sales and details of his purchases. Because when he will be purchasing, his seller will put in his GSTR1 and in my account it will be auto populated that I have purchased from him and I have paid so much GST. तो GSTR 2A purchases की detail auto populate होते हैं और sales की details मेरे को manually डालनी पड़ती है. तो any registered person, registered dealer or person will have details of GSTR1, that is how much sales he has made, and details of his purchases, that is how much purchase he has done and how much tax he has paid on his purchase. On basis of these two, GST on his sales and his purchase, he will file a monthly statement. He will file a statement called as GSTR 3B, which is a summary returns कि purchase इतने का किया, sales इतने का किया, and on basis of purchase and sales details, I will make the payment of GST. So how would it work? From my sales account, from my GSTR1, तो मैंने sales किया, मैंने certain amount of GST collect किया होगा. So that will be called as my tax on sales, also called as output tax मिल जाएगा मुझे. So let's say मैंने output tax मिल गया मुझे 50,000. अब मैंने सेल्स किया और 50,000 कलेक्ट किया. I collected 50,000 GST from my customers. You think the full amount of GST I'll go and pay to the government? I will tell the government, wait a minute, I have collected 50,000, but I have also paid on my purchases. So mere purchases, I have made certain purchases also. So I will take a set off, I will subtract my tax on purchases called as input tax. I will take a set off, let's say if I have paid 30,000. So I'll tell the government on my purchases I've already paid 30,000. तो इसके लिए अभी 50 में से मैं 30 मैंने भर दिया था, इसलिए मैं रख लूँगा और बैलेंस 20,000 ही गवर्नमेंट को पे करूँगा मैं. दिस इज माई GST payable. I'll tell the government 30,000 I've paid you here on my purchases, and now on my sales I've collected 50, taken a ITC input tax credit of 30,000 and only balance I have to pay. So in total government gets 50,000 in parts, first on my purchase and then on my sales. I hope this is clear. So this is filed in this calculation of sales and purchases and then subtracting and all of that is in your GSTR 3B. Are we clear? Can you tell me output tax, tax on sales कहाँ से मिलेगा, कौन से रिटर्न से मिलेगा मुझे, कौन से रिटर्न से मेरे को आउटपुट टैक्स की डिटेल्स मिलेगी? आउटपुट टैक्स की डिटेल्स मेरे को GSTR 1 से मिलेगी. तो यहां से मुझे मैंने कितने सेल्स किए और सेल्स पे कितना टैक्स कलेक्ट किया वो मिलेगा. मुझे परचेजेस पे कितना टैक्स भरा कहां से मिलेगा मेरे को? व्हाट ऑल परचेजेस आई हैव डन, इन विच रिटर्न कैन आई फाइंड द डिटेल्स? सो इट विल बी इन GSTR 2A and 2B. I will come to know my details of my purchases. Then the set off, I'll do a set off that I have paid already and now I have to pay so much. So that ITC and this calculation is done in which form? It is done in GSTR 3B. Okay, this set off or input tax calculation will be done in GSTR 3B. I hope this is supremely clear. Moving forward, let's see that there are certain returns and the due dates to file these returns. Now this is amended as per 2021. So GSTR 1 हम लोग ने बोला था GSTR 1 किसके रिलेटेड होता है? Details of your sales. So it is a outward supplies called the details of your supplies. For registered, now we are seeing the due date कि कब तक ये रिटर्न फाइल करना है. Details of my sales मेरे को कब तक रिटर्न फाइल कर देना है? GSTR 1. So it is saying if for a registered person with an aggregate turnover of greater than 5 crores, the due date is the 10th of the next month. However, presently it is being extended to 11th of the next month. ठीक है, तो एक्ट में लिखा है कि 10th of the next month, but government has a power to extend this time. So currently they have kept it as 11th of the next month. So let's say if my company like Reliance Industries, they have a turnover of greater than 5 crores. Yes. So उनको कभी रिटर्न फाइल करना है? उनका GSTR सेल्स की रिटर्न्स कब फाइल करना है? They have to file by the 11th of next month. For example, a sales made in January, उस पूरे जैन के जो सेल्स की है वो कभी तक मेरे को बताना है गवर्नमेंट को? 11th Feb तक. ठीक है, एंड सो ऑन. फेब का जो भी ट्रांजैक्शन सेल्स किए मैंने, February विल बी इन 11th March. ओके, अब ये जो 5 crores है, प्रीवियसली दिस लिमिट वॉज 1.5 crores. Up to December 2020 the turnover limit was 1.5 crores. Now the government has increased the limit and kept it to more than 5 crores. So अगर रिलायंस जैसी कंपनी जिसका टर्नओवर मोर देन 5 crores इज 11th of the next month. लेट्स से जिनका 5 crores से कम है या अप टू 5 crores, इट इज नॉट ग्रेटर देन. सो आर दे बिग कंपनीज और स्मॉल कंपनीज? कंपनी जिसके पास में 5 crore का से ज़्यादा टर्नओवर नहीं है तो छोटी कंपनी होगी, तो उनको हम लोग ने सर्टेन रिलैक्सेशन दिया है कि आप मंथली मत फाइल करो, आप क्या फाइल कर सकते हो? क्वार्टरली फाइल कर सकते हो. तो लेट्स सी, और उनको डेट भी दिया है 13th of the month following the quarter. So let's say if your turnover is up to 5 crores, remember this 5 crores limit was earlier 1.5 crore. Now the government has increased it, Finance Act 2021, that it is 5 crores. Okay, they have kept it as 13th of the month following the quarter. For example, let's take the quarter of April, May, June. ओके, सो अप्रैल मई जून, तो ये हो गया क्वार्टर 1. अब इस क्वार्टर का क्या मैं मंथली रिटर्न फाइल कर रहा हूं? नहीं, मंथली रिटर्न इज फॉर रिलायंस, टाटाज एक्सेट्रा, बिग कंपनीज. क्वार्टरली रिटर्न इज फॉर स्मॉलर कंपनी, लेट्स से देयर इज अ प्राइवेट कंपनी, छोटी कंपनी जिनका टर्नओवर इतना ज्यादा नहीं है, 5 करोड़ तक ही है. तो इस क्वार्टर की डिटेल्स, क्वार्टर 1 की डिटेल्स कब तक होगा? 13th month succeeding following the quarter. So June, July. So by July 13th. I hope this is clear. Very simple. Now GSTR 2 and 3 has been suspended. Instead we have GSTR 2A and 2B. 2A contains details of your purchases and 2B contains details of the tax that you have paid on your purchase and how much credit is available to you. Now GSTR 3B is filed every month, 20th of the next month. तो जो भी मंथ रहेगा उसका नेक्स्ट मंथ में तुमको ये फाइल करना है. मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट रिटर्न इन योर GSTR 1 and GSTR 2. Have you made any payment to the government or it's a mere information? In GSTR 1 and GSTR 2, 2A and 2B, have you made any payment to the government? Government की revenue कुछ बढ़ी क्या? नहीं, it's a statement of returns of your sales and purchases. Government doesn't get any revenue. Government gets revenue in your GSTR 3B. So government will love GSTR 3B because you make monthly return and you make a payment of GST. Payment of GST to the government by the 20th of the next month on basis of your sales and on the basis of your purchases. Whatever is the net figure, you will have your GST payable, right? तो यहां से मुझे आउटपुट टैक्स मिलेगा, यहां से मुझे इनपुट टैक्स मिलेगा, बैलेंसिंग फिगर गवर्नमेंट को भर दूंगा. तो गवर्नमेंट को बोलूंगा मैंने 50,000 कलेक्ट किया सेल्स पे और 20,000 परचेजेस पे भरा था मैंने, इसलिए मैं ये 20,000 ऑलरेडी भर दिया हूं, तो खाली अभी 30,000 ही आपको भरना है. GST पेबल इज 30,000. So it's like taking a credit of the tax paid earlier. Your GSTR 1 to GSTR 3B were made for all registered persons except a few. For these few, we have other forms made. So if I read that the three forms GSTR 1 to GSTR 3B are made for all registered persons except composition dealers, input service distributors, non-resident taxable persons, those who are required to deduct TDS or TCS. For these people, you have separate provisions made. Let's see. The very first we'll be talking about is composition dealers. Composition dealers are nothing but small dealers. Government has given them a certain relief. The provisions are given in your section number 10. Composition dealers have to file a return yearly. Okay, they have to file a return once a year. Now this has been amended, and earlier it was quarterly, but now composition dealers have to file their returns once a year only. This is from your Amendment Act 2021. Okay. Now, once a year has to be filed by the 30th of April following the relevant financial year. So, moment the relevant financial year gets over on 31st March, by the next month, by the 30th April, you need to file the returns. Okay. It will be in your form GSTR 4. So GSTR 4 is a return filed by composition dealers. It is to be filed once a year from before the 30th April of the financial year. Okay. Now when this is just a return, is a kind of an information. However, the payment is to be done on quarterly basis. So the challan for composition dealers is your GST CMP 08. CMP is for composition dealers. They have to make quarterly payments. So by the 18th of the month succeeding the following quarter, they need to make the payments. So payments will be made quarterly for composition dealers, and once the entire year is over, for the entire year, one return has to be filed, giving the details of their inward supplies, outward supplies, and all the possible details by the 30th of April following the relevant financial year. Okay, so this is important, extremely important. You can note it down. So this was your GSTR 4. GSTR 5 covers a return for non-resident foreign taxable person, or you could call it as your non-resident taxable persons. Now, who are non-residents taxable person? They are not a resident of India but have come into India temporarily to do business. This could be for a very short duration, and registration certificate is issued for that particular period only. So it could be a registration certificate for 3 months, 1 month, 2 months, how much ever time you want to do your business. Okay, the provisions are contained in your section number 27 of the act, which you can read it, what is non-resident taxable person and the details of it. We are talking about the returns where non-resident taxable person has to file. So they have to file a return monthly basis by the 20th from the end of the month. So moment the month gets over, by the 20th of the next month they need to file. So for the month of Jan, the return has to be filed by the 20th of Feb. However, if my period is not even going to be for 1 month, I've just come in for 3 days into India to sell my goods or some services, etc. Only 3 days. So then, or within 7 days after the last date of the validity of the registration, whichever is earlier. So let's say if I've just come in for 3 days, I'm not even going to, my registration certificate is not even for a month, it is only for 3 days. So within 7 days from the last day of your validity of a registration certificate, whichever is earlier. Now GSTR 5A is a monthly return to be filed by the registered persons providing OIDAR services. Now what is OIDAR services? What is OIDAR is online information data access and retrieval services. So this is covered and explained in your IGST Act, but let me tell you in short what is OIDAR services. So it's a online information data access and retrieval services. For example, we can have Amazon, a company can store its data in a cloud, can avail the cloud services of Amazon Web Services. It's a cloud-based facility where data can be stored, data of employees, etc. can be stored. These are like online servers. Nowadays with the advent of technology, you can access, so it's a online information. So the information is online, you can access, okay, and you can the online information data access and retrieval. So you can access the data and retrieve it whenever you want. The company pays a certain charges for this. So this is a service provided for maintaining your data on the internet. This is called as OIDAR services. Netflix is another kind of thing where your account is made, you can anytime access it and retrieve it. The concept is covered in your IGST Act. Right now I hope we're just seeing the returns aspect. So those who are providing these online OIDAR services, they have to file a monthly return by the 20th of the next month. Then your GSTR 6 is your input service distributor. Input service distributor is given in your section number 20. Now what is input service distributor? Again, you can go into the concept to check it out what it is. Here we're just talking about the returns. ISD, input service distributor, will file their returns in GSTR 6 by the 13th of the next month. In short, if I have to tell you what is an input service distributor, this is the head office or office of the registered person who wants to distribute its input services onto its units. So let's say the Maharashtra unit is making payment for all the 3 units that is there in other states. Now when it is making the payments, it must be incurring certain expenses and GST. So for them, this is the input tax and they are paying the taxes. Now this tax that they've paid on their services availed is called as input service. Input service. Now the branch has incurred it on behalf of someone else, on behalf of its other branches. So it wants to give them these input taxes, that you can take the input taxes. It's called as input service distribution. To do that, you have to be registered. The concept, you need to check the concept under section 20 to understand it. I'm not going into the concept part. It's just the returns by ISD has to be filed by the 13th of the next month. If I go next, section number 52 and 53 talks about those who are required to collect TDS and TCS. Okay, here we are seeing GSTR 7 is to be filed by return for authorities deducting TDS. Okay, so those who are deducting TDS will have to file a returns of who they are deducting money and how much they have deducted by the 10th of the next month in which the deduction was made. GSTR 8 talks about details of supplies effected through the e-commerce operators and the amount of tax collected at source are required under section 52. So whenever those who are required to collect tax at source is called as TCS. Without going into the provisions, okay, you have to understand those who are required to deduct TDS and those who are required to collect TCS. Those concepts you can check it in section 51 to 52. Okay, right now I'm not going into the concept. Only when these people have to file their returns. So TDS, those who are required to deduct, will file their returns in GSTR 7 by the 10th of the next month. Those who are required to collect the tax, okay, under section 52 will make their filings in GSTR 8 by the 10th of the next month in which the collection is made. So if you see here, both the points are exactly the same, by the 10th of the next month. Then coming to the most important, okay, return, which is your annual return, most important. Now this has been amended, okay, in your 2021. So I'll be covering that. Firstly, GSTR 9 talks about your annual return. GSTR 9 talks about your annual return. This you need to learn, okay. So this is, from all the returns, I could say this is among the most important. Annual return, first you have to understand, not everybody has to file an annual return. Okay, so let's see. For those taxpayers who have an aggregate turnover about 2 crores, it is mandatory. So only those taxpayers whose aggregate turnover is about 2 crores is required to file your annual returns. I hope you can make a note of that. So what is the limit? 2 crores. Only those who exceed this limit, their turnover, only then they have to file the annual returns. Okay, and by when they have to file the annual returns, again supremely important, by the 31st December of next financial year it needs to be filed. Okay, so the moment the financial year gets over on 31st March, by December they need to file the returns for that financial year. 31st December, you need to make a note, very important note. And another, what is the important part, that it is exempted if the turnover is up to 2 crores. So only if it is exceeding 2 crores you have to file your annual returns. Okay, so GSTR 9, if I just take this, up to 2 crores. So if the aggregate turnover is up to 2 crores, then it has been relaxed. It is optional, you don't need to file it. But if it exceeds 2 crores, the return filing is mandatory, annual returns. Another important point you have to understand is GSTR 9 is now disabled. It was related to composition dealers, but now it is all covered in GSTR 4. So this you don't have to remember. Now coming to your GSTR 9C. Very important again. GSTR 9C is a statement of reconciliation. It is a statement of reconciliation. What do you mean by the term reconcile? To compare, to check, to analyze two things. So whenever there is a reconciliation, you would be checking something. Now what are you checking? Whether the entries made, the amounts and figures mentioned is same and similar between the annual returns filed under GSTR 9 and the audited financial statements. So if I see the audited financial statements and your GSTR 9, what would you do? You would do a reconciliation. So a reconciliation simply means you will compare the figures, and if there is any mistakes, you will highlight it, etc. Now this earlier reconciliation was to be done by a chartered accountant, but now by your Amendment Act 2021, a chartered accountant need not do it. The dealer himself can self-certify that yes, I have done a reconciliation between the audited financial statements and the GSTR 9. There is a simply check box will be there, something like that. Okay, like this, he just has to go and tick it that yes, he has reconciled the figures between these two elements. Okay, it is mandatory if the turnover exceeds 5 crores on self-certification basis. So you can self-certify this form, obviously. Okay, and a certification by CA is not required. You can self-certify it. Moving ahead to GSTR 10 is a final return. Final return मतलब क्या? You could call it as your last return. Your last return. Now why would be last? If you have surrendered your registration certificate or it has been cancelled, then or then you shut down the business. So within 3 months of the date of cancellation or cancellation order, whichever is later. So within 3 months you need to do from the date of cancellation, or if you've gone in appeal and then the order is awaiting, so then we'll wait. So whichever is later. So till an order comes or it has been cancelled, whichever is later. Sometimes we will go in appeal and then the order comes in later on. So within 3 months. Next, GSTR 11, one of the least important forms, you could say. Details of inward supplies of your purchases to be furnished by persons having a UIN, unique identification number, and claiming a refund. So this is for those UN agencies, etc. So this you can check it in the registration topic. Okay, it talks about unique identification numbers. Certain embassies, United Nations organization, international organizations, they don't get a registration certificate. They get a unique identification number, which is deemed to be the registration certificate. They need to file their returns in your GSTR 11 by the 20th of the month following the month for which the statement is filed. So basically 20th of the next month. So if you tell me, so the forms are done, but which are the important ones, you can take a note of it. So first of all, your GSTR 1, GSTR 3B. 3B is a form to make the payments. GSTR 4, since it's amended, important, you make the payment. Composition dealers make the payment in CMP 08. Non-resident taxable person is in GSTR 5. OIDAR services in 5A. 6 is input service distributors. 7 is your TDS. 8 is your TCS. 9 is the most important. You always need to know is your annual return. 9C is a reconciliation statement. Okay, you need to reconcile it if it is the turnover is exceeding 5 crores. A final return is to be filed in GSTR 10, and 11 is for the last returns, you could say, is for you those who are having unique identification numbers. Okay. Now, if you go to see your GSTR1, so as we discussed, your GSTR1 is your details of outward supplies. It is the details of your sales. Okay, outward supplies. Now you have to understand one thing, that sales has to be intimated. GSTR1 has to be put up. You need to inform the government to whom you had made the sales. Here you need to make a invoice wise details. That means I need to put the invoice number, each entry I have to put it. Don't you think it's very cumbersome? डिफिकल्ट नहीं है, हर एक सेल का इनवॉइस वाइज मेरे को अपलोड करना है. मीन्स every invoice has to be uploaded separately. I have to key in the invoice number of 1, 2, 3, 4. So I cannot just consolidate and say that total sales is so much up there. So we can see invoice wise details. You think government will tell for every single transaction you to do invoice wise details? It will not be possible for the dealers, for companies like Reliance, etc. So what they do is, now though you have softwares today, okay, now invoice wise details is to be made only for these cases. Firstly, whenever there is a interstate or intrastate supplies to a registered person. So when I make a sale to a registered person, supplies to a registered person, so then obviously I need to tell who is the purchaser. I'm the seller. Who is the purchaser? Each one individually I need to tell. So invoice wise details have to be uploaded. Common sense also. Second, तो हर registered person को बेच रहा हूँ तो आ ही जाएगा. And second, interstate supplies with invoice value more than 2.5 lakh rupees to unregistered person. So even in unregistered persons, it is important to tell when it is interstate between one state to another. वो भी not every interstate has to be informed when I'm selling to a unregistered person. Here only if it exceeds more than 2.5 lakh rupees, the invoice value exceeds 2.5 lakh rupees. Okay, so invoice wise details समझ में आया. So whenever I am the supplier, I supply to a registered person. Always invoice wise details has to be uploaded. Every detail of the invoice has to be put up. When I am selling, I am the supplier, I am selling to an unregistered person, then I only have to do it when two conditions are fulfilled. One is it is an interstate transaction. It is an interstate and the value is greater than more than 2.5 lakhs. Okay. अगर ये दोनों नहीं है तो then invoice wise details डालने की जरूरत नहीं है. एक साथ I can say that all the small, I can just put up that I've made a sales of so much amount. Now consolidated details can be provided. Consolidated, all of them I don't have to put in for each invoice. If it is an intrastate supplies made to unregistered person, and state wise details has to be put where interstate supplies are made of a value of less than 2.5 lakhs. So खाली state wise details डाल देना. I have to put it state wise, but I can consolidate all of them and put. For example, I have sold to 50 people. I'll just consolidate the value, the total amount of invoices, and just tell the government I've done that. This I need to do it intrastate. I can do it all of them together. That for Maharashtra it is 50 lakh rupees. I've sold it to 50 lakh rupees worth goods I've sold. If it is in different states, then I need to consolidate and say state wise. In Maharashtra so much sales, in Gujarat so much sales, etc. Okay, if the invoice is less than 2.5 lakhs. If it is more, then I have to put it, each invoice needs to be uploaded. Next, if I go to see, if I just summarize, when I say unregistered person, means it could be a consumer only. He might be unregistered. So let's see how can we shorten it, summarize. So details of my outward supplies in your GSTR1. Firstly, B2B, when I'm making to registered person only, what they had said, invoice wise details has to be put, whether it make inter or intra. invoice wise details of all the supplies is to be uploaded. If I make it to unregistered person, okay, supply is made to unregistered person, then I have to see whether what is the invoice value. Let's say if it is a intrastate supply, intrastate means within the sale, and it is a small within the sale, then I can consolidate all of them and put it up. So when it is given to unregistered person, it is not compulsory to put invoice wise details, so I can just put up a consolidated details of the supply, total sales so much. If it is interstate supplies are made, then I have to show it state wise, and the invoice value is greater than 2.5 lakhs, then invoice wise details. But if it is less than or equal to 2.5 lakhs, then only state wise consolidated details can be uploaded. So I hope you can just take a screenshot of this. It summarizes the entire provision. So if I tell you I'm selling it to a registered person, do I need to put invoice wise details? Answer is yes. Let's say I'm selling it to a unregistered person in my state only, then again consolidated. If I'm selling to unregistered person of a value greater than 2.5 lakhs interstate, okay, from one state to another, then I have to put invoice wise. But if it is not 2.5, it is I'm selling it to in another state to unregistered person and the value is 1 lakh rupees, so I can consolidate all these small sales amount and just put it up state wise. So this is all the details that you need to key in. Now question comes up that once you file your GSTR1 and let's say I realize I made a mistake, can you revise it? So returns once filed cannot be revised. So it is like a bullet. Once it is gone, you cannot revise. In the next return filing date, I can rectify my earlier one. So any mistake made in the return can be rectified in the next period, whether it be month, quarter, return, I can rectify that. It means that if a mistake is made in month of September, rectification can be made in the month of October, in the next month. Your fees is given. Now again an important point in your Amendment Act 2021. In your returns, there is a simple checkbox there that if you made a nil return, 0 sales, so you just have to check there, okay, and it will show that file nil returns, nil returns. The moment you tick that and you put it submit, a nil return will be filed and you'll get an OTP on your mobile phone just for verification. So return needs to be filed even if no business activity is there. A nil return needs to be filed. So maybe I must have just started off the business, okay, and the company is made and I've registered my entity also, but no sales has been made. So return needs to be filed. A nil can be filed through an SMS using a registered mobile number. Return submitted through SMS is verified by the registered through a OTP facility. So if by mobile phone also you can do it, but you need to verify through a OTP. Then coming your first return, your very first return. So this is like when you were a baby. Now your very first return. When I say baby means what? Okay, you were newly born, you newly entered into GST. So that means your first return came to be you need to file till when you became liable, till the time the registration was granted. So maybe I must have exceeded my turnover, so I became liable under GST. But obviously filing or getting the registration certificate takes time. So your registration certificate granted, liable to register. So there is a time gap. In this time gap, whatever sales I make, I need to inform the government by my first return. Okay. So from the time I was liable till the time the registration certificate was granted, I must have made a few sales. Okay. All these sales needs to be informed and I'll tell the government this is my first return. I am liable, but registration certificate took time. During that time, this many sales I have made. And that is it. We are done with the provisions of returns.